was the most defining moment of your life, Senator? And it can be more than one, again, personal or professional.
Wow, that's really a tough question as to what was most defining, but I probably will say the birth of my son Brandon, because
Okay.
I was in the operating room when my wife was giving birth, and it was like something turned in me right on the spot. Seeing that put everything into perspective for me.
Okay.
And I think that made me a little more focused and a little more serious about where I was going with my life. So I think that was large. There are other things that I think were very powerful. My experience in Africa was very powerful as well.
How did that play out in my research of you? I found that to be like this offshoot. I mean, it's somewhat political, obviously, but it was very unique. How did you get that opportunity? I'd like the audience to know that and what you did.
Well, I was sitting in the chambers in Frankfurt.
Okay.
And someone brought this information to me and said, hey, you know, the United Nations actually is accepting applications for individuals who would want to go to Africa, but to the South African election and serve as a monitor. But you got to keep in mind they're not going to provide you any life insurance. They're not going to. In other words, the point was this is a pretty dangerous thing to do.
Right.
But here I was sitting in the chambers of the Senate, and I felt very comfortable and safe. I said, well, okay, look into it. They looked into it. Next thing I knew, they brought me some papers, and we filled them out and sent them in. I wasn't really thinking it was going to happen.
Sure.
Next thing I knew, I received a communication from the UN saying that I had been selected, and here's your schedule, and of course, no insurance, no life insurance. They were right about that.
Yeah, they brought that up again, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Now, how many of you were in that position that went over? Was it a group of you, or were you by yourself, or?
Well, from here,
or just the U.S., I guess. Maybe.
Well, it's hard to answer. There were a number of people from different places in the United States, but people from all over the world.
Okay.
In fact, the partner I had was a lady from Norway.
Okay.
And we were a team that went to what was then called the Orange Free State.
Okay.
And we were based in Bloemfontein, and we would go 120 miles or so to a place called Smithville, which is about the size of Simpsonville.
Okay.
And we were out there, and our job was not to intercede, but to monitor. And that's what we did.